we are going to discuss 5 niches that are on the rise and guaranteed to make money this fall. The 5th niche specifically is one that I made quite a bit of money with last fall. If you're an Etsy seller that is doing print on demand, then this is the video for you. Q4 is upon us, and this is going to be our first chance to start whipping up that momentum that we need so we can head into Q4 strong. We will have some nice Halloween type niches here, but first up, you might be surprised because it has nothing to do with Halloween. First up is going to be a 5-for-1 because I'm going to go over some sports themed niches that sell really well in the fall. And I'm not going to mention football here. Now, football is great. You could try that one if you like, but I am specifically pulling sports niches that spike during the fall, but have low Etsy competition and high search volume. That means it's not too saturated on Etsy, not too many listings to compete with, yet there are a lot of potential customers coming to the Etsy marketplace to search for these specific items. First up is volleyball, and there's a couple of different angles you could take when going into the volleyball niche. First up, volleyball ornaments. This starts to spike in October and stays high in November and spikes through December. So starts to get worked up during the fall and continues to rise during the winter. As we move further into Q4, obviously this is going to be, Christmas presents. We can also take a look here at volleyball gifts. You can see the green under average searches and the yellow under Etsy competition. Volleyball PNG and volleyball SVG, if you happen to be doing digital, I just thought I'd throw this at you because these are green in search volumes and green in Etsy competition. Not done with volleyball yet, though. We've got volleyball shirts, which I know a lot of us are making shirts. And this spikes in September, stays up there in October and in November. Now, I didn't look further into volleyball. I'm assuming volleyball season is coming up, and this is a season that's coming up with sports because it's just a bunch of them are spiking. And then last but not least, within volleyball, we've got specifically volleyball mom shirts with high search volumes really through the summer and spiking there in September. Volleyball, great one to get into. Soccer ornament is the next one we're going to look at. And similarly to volleyball, it starts to rise in October and then really hits its heights there in December. And also in soccer, we've got soccer mom shirts, and this has got a couple of different spikes, one of them being in September. We've got green on searches there, yellow on Etsy competition. Soccer mom shirt. And moving right along, we'll hit dance mom shirt next. And it's got a bunch of spikes throughout the year, but some of those spikes are here in September. So as we head into the fall, staying high in October and, another kind of big spike in November. I'm sure some of these are going out as Christmas presents also. Cheer Mom shirt. Again, green average searches, yellow Etsy competition with spikes in September and October, according to Erank. I am using Erank to pull all of this data. I will leave a link to them down in the description if you'd like to go over and check them out. We also have Cheer Coach Gift, and that spikes in November, but it's also got pretty good search volumes looking there in October and September. So we've got green average searches and green Etsy competition for Cheer Coach Gift. And last but not least, with our sports related niches here, we've got Basketball Mom shirt, and that's spiking in October. I feel like I flew through that first part, so I will make a little cheat sheet for you and I'll put it down in the description if you want to download it. We're ready to hit our second niche for the fall, and this one will be more traditional because it will be really fall themed. So our fall themed niches are going to be specifically pumpkin patch shirt, which according to Erank has green average searches here, spiking real big there in September, and yellow for the Etsy competition. There's a lot of different angles you could take on the pumpkin patch shirt, but do keep in mind that people go to the pumpkin patch to pick out their pumpkins together, and a lot of times they like to have a photo shoot with that little baby that is going to the pumpkin patch for the very first time, or maybe they want to put some siblings in some cute pumpkin patch shirts and get their cute photos there with the bale of hay and the pumpkins behind them. So when thinking about this particular niche, keep those kinds of things in mind. And going to the pumpkin patch isn't the only cool, fun thing people do together at Halloween. There's a whole bunch of things. I did actually create a Q4 calendar and resource. I'll leave it linked down below if you're looking for other ideas. The pumpkin patch idea is on this resource along with many others. And it doesn't just hit Halloween, it also hits Thanksgiving, Christmas, and lots of little niches within Q4. It gives you time frames of when you should be getting your listings up and when you should have them listed by. Boss Life Beauty here shared, oh my gosh, Shauna, I just purchased your Q4 package, and she's talking about that calendar resource. And wow, I didn't even get to the end of the value-packed PDF before I had a great aha moment. It's so full of great ideas and info. And you gave me a great idea for the niche I am already in that I have the designs for, but not sure what product to put them on. Thank you. The resource also includes a page in there that goes over products that are really good sellers during Q4, and so she was appreciating that particular part of the resource in her comment. And of course, I was so excited to get this message. Going to get your new calendar. I already have the Q4 and teacher one. I also have a teacher resource and a general niche resource. But as we move into July and we get closer to Q4, the Q4 resource is probably the most helpful one to pick up at this time. It helped me get a bestseller this Q4, so I was really excited that she felt the information on that resource helped her get that bestseller. Before we move into our third type of design you want to get into your shop for Q4, I have one more fall themed one for you, and that is pregnancy fall themed couple shirts. And funny sells here. People really like funny shirts, but this would be a couple shirt. I will leave a totally free video resource down below that shows you some ways that you can do group listings in your shop. If you need a little help with how to do a group listing like this, it would be just 2 designs, so really a couple's listing. And you would have one funny phrase on the mom-to-be's shirt and then a funny phrase on the dad-to-be's shirt. I have personally made a good amount of money selling shirts like this in my shop. And if you do well for Halloween with this, then you're going to want to do shirts like this at Thanksgiving. And you'll want to continue to double down on this concept and do them again at Christmas, then again at Valentine's Day. And that's how you really work momentum up in your shop in one specific area. Here, pregnancy reveal type shirts. Third on our list is going to be Halloween specific, and it's going to be couples costume shirts. So you could just do costume shirts also if you're not comfortable doing couples costume. But if you do couples costume, you've got a little less competition because not everybody's gonna go that extra mile to do the couples. And then you've also got the added benefit of being in a group niche where you're likely to sell more than one shirt every time someone orders from that listing. When getting into a niche like this, if you go do your research on Etsy, you're going to see a lot of people infringing. You don't need to do that. You can make sales without infringing and endangering your shop. So for example, you don't want to do something like M&M's or Netflix and chill. Instead, think of things that go together or that maybe are less obvious, like Jack and Diane. That's from a song, but I would feel pretty safe putting something like that in my shop. I wouldn't put anything referencing the song in my SEO or my title or my tags. But people that see that shirt are going to instantly get the reference there. Salt and pepper, anything that you can think of that goes together. You're going to see a lot of people kind of doing the same things, like peanut butter and jelly. Sure, go ahead, put a peanut butter and jelly up, but dig a little deeper. Go do some of your own research and think of some things that are funny that go together that no one else is doing on Etsy yet. And if you think that's not possible, that, oh, everyone has already gotten all of the ideas, oh my gosh, that's so not true. Go do some searches on Google, come back to Etsy. You're going to come up with ideas that no one is really doing on Etsy right now. I promise you, there's lots of ideas that you could still hit that are unique. Fourth, we're going to talk about mommy and me matching outfits. This is a great niche to hit any time of the year. We see here, according to Erank, the searches are green and the Etsy competition is yellow. And now to take this from an angle of doing it Halloween themed, you can also just do fall themed with like pumpkins, and it doesn't have to be like spooky. You could do all of that. You've got the added benefit, once again, of being able to sell more than one each time someone orders from this listing. They might buy 2, 3, or even 4, depending on how many kids they have. And if you start getting traction with these, it kind of guides you throughout the entire year to start taking stabs of that with every holiday that comes up, because that's what we call doubling down on what's working. So if you get some traction here with Halloween or with fall in general, then you want to hit Thanksgiving with matching mommy and me shirts, and then you want to hit Christmas, and you want to hit New Year's, and then Valentine's Day. I will leave a completely free video. It'll be linked here and down below if you want to see more about what I mean when I say double down. Fifth is going to be your more general Halloween shirts, but we're not just going to do shirts with ghosts on them or anything like that. I found a couple spots that seem to have a little extra space in them. So Halloween dog shirts. We've got green in our searches and in our competition. Of course, it looks like it's spiking in September as we head over closer to Halloween. Then we've got Halloween coffee shirts. We've got green average searches, yellow for competition, and of course a spike in September and October as we get over there closer to Halloween once again. Teacher Halloween shirts. I am a former 4th grade teacher, and I personally always had a Halloween shirt on. I would have several Halloween shirts during the month of October that I would wear. And those spike in September and October. So the earlier we get those out, the better. And even better stats for our Halloween nurse shirt with green average searches and green in our Etsy competition. The nurse niche and the teacher niche are amazing niches to get into. So much money to be made in those two niches. And these are two places where it would be a great opportunity to get yourself in there. You always are wanting to look for an angle or way to niche down. This is by hitting it from the holiday angle, you are niching down within those professions. So these are wonderful opportunities. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to boop that like button. And if you'd like to see me, hi, I'm Simply Shauna, pop up in your feed a little more often, then go ahead and give that subscribe button a little hug. Let's talk about the one concept next that is responsible for growing my Etsy shop into a 6-figure business in the first year and a half that it was open. And when I say 6-figure business, I am talking about I made 6 figures profit, not revenue in the shop. Let's talk about that in this video here, as a matter of fact. But of course, not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away!